Chris, your new book, The Rise of Forest Green Rovers, The Road to Wembley, is being officially launched at this weekend's game against Guiseley. What can you tell us then, Chris, about the new book?
Well, it's I think it's an honest account, but it's not so much my version of what happened. It's more a combination of people. I bookend it, if you like. It includes the Rambling Man reports on the away matches last year, but it has a it has a forward by Dale. It's got a forward by Gilly Cooper, who's been extremely helpful, and there are a lot of contributions by quite a few of the usual people on the forum. So it's a bit of a combination, but the effect in the end is to try to show what happened last year through the supporters' eyes, rather than give a sort of an overglossed version, from a journalistic standpoint.
Yeah, so was that a big inspiration in writing the book, the fact that it was such a big season and there were so many different people who almost contributed to it?
I think so. There were terrific highs and terrific lows last year, but I think what I didn't want to do was to see that lost in just one result. We went into Wembley probably without a midfield, and it was very disappointing. Perhaps many of us were disappointed in the way we played post-Christmas. But at the end of the day, for our club, it was a step up. It was a bit as if we got through a glass ceiling, I think, that we're now accepted as being a top team in our own right, but we had to do that to get that.
When you were putting the book together, Chris, was there a particular part of it that you enjoyed more than others, perhaps?
That's a difficult question to answer, really. I think I enjoyed doing the writing, particularly sort of the Rambling Man, and putting that together. But I think what probably did it for me was the fact that so many others came together and volunteered their contributions, particularly the ones we've had from the ambassadors, sort of primary school children. And you can't write them. They just have a particular kind of way of saying, and it goes very well. And then the real inspiration, I think, having written it, was that someone like Gilly Cooper telling me that I could write well and she really enjoyed it. I mean, I was having trouble getting my head through the door, I think, at that stage.
Certainly, and I know a huge part of the book, Chris, is the fact that it is helping raise money and awareness of the Gloucestershire Deaf Association, which you're chairman of. What can you tell us a bit about the charity?
Well, I'm a lucky person because although I've suffered with loss of hearing, I'm what they call, if you like, I've acquired hearing loss, but I've known, many of the years of my life, I've had perfectly decent hearing. What Gloucestershire Deaf Association does is help people like me in a number of different ways, but more particularly it helps people who are either deaf from birth, sometimes deaf-blind from birth, also who say have had diseases like meningitis close to birth, who have no hearing at all. And it's a very diverse community. But the one thing that distinguishes it is difficulty of communication between them and with other people. Some haven't been able to learn English for obvious reasons. If you can't hear sounds, it's difficult to form words. So they tend to be a very self-supporting community and lack the opportunities that the rest of us can provide from outside. So what GDA does, it provides that support. It provides support to employers employing people with those sorts of types of deafness. When they have to meet their GPs or other people, it provides interpreters or signers. It's a fantastic charity. I'm very lucky to be chair of it. But like any charity at the moment, raising money is particularly difficult. So things like this, where people have got skills that can maybe bring money in, that's invaluable to us.
Yeah, definitely. You're looking at the numbers and figures, and like you say, you'd like to raise some money for GDA through the book. What sort of numbers and figures are you looking at regarding the book in terms of sales and printing numbers and so on?
Yes, I set targets which I've already beaten, really, because to be honest, when I started off, I didn't know how effective this would be. Yourself from publishing a book, you can write something. Can you get a publisher interested? If you get a publisher interested, exactly what the deal is, all that type of thing. In the end, my publishers have actually become consultants, so I own the books, and I can therefore negotiate and set the targets for sales. But we've gone from thinking 2 months ago, we thought we might sell perhaps 200 and do our figures on that. We've already had orders for over 230 books, with a week to go to launch. We're hoping that at the launch we'll manage by then to have placed about 500 books and maybe into another publishing. If we can do that, it means that over the course of the next 2 months or so, we should be sending a cheque for anywhere between £3,000 and £4,000 to GDA. So it's worthwhile money.
Definitely, yeah, that would be fantastic. And the launch is taking place this Saturday at our home game against Guiseley. What are you doing for the launch? Because it'd be great to get as many fans interested as possible.
Well, I obviously we're trying to get the news out there through all the usual channels, social media, things like this, posting on the forum. The launch itself, Gilly Cooper is helping with it and signing with it, and that's taking place from 1 p.m. at the Carol Embry in the East Stand at Forest Green. But we've also we're going to have a desk in the Green Man selling books. We'll have a desk over in the new bar at the Easy selling books, and then after the match everyone hopefully can come back to the Carol Embry from 5 o'clock onwards, something like that. And but either way we're going to do our best to sell. The book is priced at £10 for the launch rather than the £12.99, which will be later in the year. But that means from our point of view as well that cash handling is easy, so hopefully people will find it within their hearts to find a tenner rather than have to mess around looking for the extra £2.99.